Good afternoon once again. May I request everyone to please stand for our opening prayer.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us here today for this pre-bidding conference. We acknowledge your guidance and wisdom in every step of our work, especially as we discuss and evaluate matters concerning our civil works projects. Grant us clarity of mind, integrity, and fairness in our deliberations.
May every word we speak and every decision we make reflect honesty, transparency, and a genuine desire to serve the public good.
Bless all participants, the members of the Bids and Awards Committee, the technical working groups, the secretariats, and our prospective bidders. May this conference be conducted in an orderly, productive, and meaningful manner, leading to successful projects that benefit our communities. We entrust this meeting to you, Lord. Guide us in upholding righteousness and accountability in all that we do. All these we ask in your mighty name. Amen.
Again, welcome to our pre-bidding conference. And to start, may I request Engineer Emil for calling of the names.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you say present in your name is called? Ma'am Grace Lena Cabalan.
Present.
Elizabeth Cacho.
Present.
Emilio Nari. Present. Gilbert Sabandal. Present. Mary Noelin Racines.
Present.
Amy Divino.
Present.
Lilith May Buruy.
Present.
Charmin Uy.
Present.
Jason Lumari. Present. Rosel Smiley Balstoy. Jen Kervin Valyares. Virgo Michelle Rosa. Dalan Angel. Present. Alma Maria Pandan.
Present.
And Maricel Fulgerinos. So for this pre-bidding conference, we have a total of 15 attending and 3 out of 5 back members present for example in the pre-bidding conference. We also acknowledge the presence of one of the interested leader, Ma'am Maricel Fulgerinos from Dose Construction and General Merchandise. Back to the Baclayon, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Emil. With the back in quorum, we will now proceed with our pre-bidding conference for 4 civil works projects. Five. We're not sure the 5 civil works projects. The following projects will be subject for pre-bidding conference this afternoon. First will be 26 HA0016 with contract name Construction of Multipurpose Building Covered Court, Barangay Abucay Sur, Barangay Cambuac Norte, and Barangay Cambuac Sur, Sikatuna, Bohol. Abucay Sur with 9.679380 and 123.963350 coordinates. Cambuac Norte of 9.68542400288292 and 123.99452421770001. Coordinates for Cambuac Sur is 9.682055602361 and 124.00140401248. The second contract ID will be for 26HA0017 for the construction completion of multipurpose building covered court, Barangay Pamilacan, Baclayon, Bohol, with coordinates 9.49344N and 123.92463E. The third is 26HA0018, construction completion of multipurpose building, Evacuation Center, Corella, Bohol, 9.6 with coordinates 9.68868 and 123.92007. Fourth project will be for contract ID number 26HA0019, construction completion of multipurpose building, covered court, Barangay Villa Aurora, Barangay Canlaas, Barangay Celing, and Barangay Bungahan, Antequera, Bohol, with coordinates for Villa Aurora 9.775208 north and 123.887481 east, for Canlaas 9.812363 north and 123.882969 east, for Celing 9.784805 east and 123.892082. And for Bungahan, we have 9.775201 north and 123.9171115 east. And last but not the least will be for contract ID number 25HA0134 for Last Mile Schools Program, Bumbong Primary School, Katikbian, Bohol. General Appropriations Act, GAA 2026 projects are for issuance of SARO, open close parenthesis, PISARO status. The procuring entity shall not award the contract for procurement projects until the special allotment release order and or SARO has been issued, secured, or released. For the brief presentation and or explanation of the following: letter A, basic contract data; B, requirements of bidding documents; C, criteria and procedure of eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids; detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award; and letter D, documents to be submitted by the bidders. For basic contract data, contract description, ABC, and duration, may allow me to turn over the time to Engineer Aimee Delfino for the discussion. Engineer Aimee.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, everyone. We will present now the details and scope of work for the 5 projects for pre-bidding this afternoon. First, let's go to the contract ID 26HA0016 with the project title of Construction of Multipurpose Building, Covered Court, Barangay Abucay Sur, Barangay Cambuac Norte, and Barangay Cambuac Sur, Sikatuna, Bohol, with coordinates for Abucay Sur 9.679380, 123.963350, for Cambuac Norte 9.6854, 2400, 2882932 North, and 123.99452, 421-77001, for Cambuac Sur 9.678, 2055, 6023-619, and 124.001014040-1248. Project location in Sikatuna, Bohol, with a project duration of 300 calendar days. And the total allocation for this project is 14 million, with an approved budget for the contract of 13,860,000. And for the scope of work for this project, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 10 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 10 months, permits and clearances 1 lump sum, project billboard signboard 2 each. For occupational safety and health and mobilization demobilization, for this item, 1 lump sum, it's have a one quantity na lump sum. For earthworks, we have structure excavation hard rock 81.2 cubic meter, embankment from roadway structure excavation hard rock 47.5 cubic meter, embankment from barrow common soil 200.8 cubic meter, gravel fill 6 cubic meter. For our reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete 3000 PSI Class A 28 days 53.9 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, we have 2,364.7 kilograms. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 60, we have 4,938.4 kilograms. Formworks and falseworks, we have 254.10 square meter. For our masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm, 102.8 square meter. For our finishing works, we have cement plaster finish, 102.8 square meter. For our miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structure accessories, 1 lump sum. Metal structure accessories turnbuckle, 209 each. Metal structure accessories cross bracing, 2,084.3 kilograms. Metal structure accessories steel plates, we have 6,641.7 kilograms. For structural steel, 1 lump sum. Structural steel trusses, 30,997.3 kilograms. Structural steel purlins, 7,671.6 kilograms. For our roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 26, flashing 416 linear meter. Fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 24, gutters 194 linear meters. Pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm corrugated long span, we have 1,789.5 square meter. For plumbing works, we have storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. For our electrical works, we have conduit boxes and fittings, conduit works, conduit racking, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main and branches breakers, lighting fixture. Each item have 1 lump sum quantity. For painting works, we have painting works steel, 3,736.5 square meter. That's all for this project. Let's proceed to the next contract. We have 26HA0017 with the project title of Construction Completion of Multipurpose Building Covered Court, Barangay Pamilacan, Baclayon, Bohol, with coordinates of 9.49344 North and 123.92463 East at Baclayon, Bohol, with a project duration of 150 calendar days, with an allocation of 4 million and an approved budget for the contract of 3,960,000. And for the scope of work for this project, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 5 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 5 months. For project billboard, signboard, 2 each. Occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. For our earthworks, structure excavation hard rock, 14.4 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation hard rock, we have a quantity of 3.5 cubic meter. Embankment from barrow common soil, 145.9 cubic meter. Gravel fill, 1 cubic meter. For our reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete 3,000 PSI, class A, 28 days. We have a quantity of 49.2 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, we have 1,874.9 kilograms. Formworks and falseworks, we have 27.1 square meter. For our masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm, 22.5 square meter. For our finishing works, we have cement plaster finish with a quantity of 22.5 square meter. For our miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structure accessories, 1 lump sum. Metal structure accessories steel plate, 6.4 kilograms. Structural steel, 1 lump sum. For our plumbing works, we have storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. And for the last item, we have painting work steel with a total quantity of 24 square meter. That's all for this project, and let's proceed to the next project, 26HA0018. For this project, the title of this project is Construction Completion of Multipurpose Building Evacuation Center Corella Bohol with the coordinates of 9.68868 north and 123.92007 east in Corella Bohol with a total project duration or contract duration of 180 calendar days with an allocation of 10 million and an approved budget for the contract of 9,900,000. And for the scope of work for this project, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 6 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 6 months, for project billboard signboard 2H, occupational safety and health mobilization and demobilization, each item have 1 lump sum quantity. For earthworks, we have structure excavation common soil with a quantity of 3,626.2 cubic meter. For drainage and slope protection works, we have embankment 12.8 cubic meter, site development 1 lump sum, aggregate sub-base force 299.7 cubic meter, stone masonry 460.5 cubic meter, and for our reinforced concrete works, line canal concrete rectangular with a quantity of 256 linear meter, structural concrete 3000 PSI class A 28 days, 226 cubic meter, reinforcing steel deformed grade 14, 3,171.2 kilograms. For masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing including reinforcing steel 100 mm with a quantity of 117.5 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have 1 lump sum. Doors and windows, aluminum glass windows fixed type, we have 12.56 square meter. Finishing hardware 1 set. Frames, jams, seals, head, transoms, and mullions 4 sets. Doors, wood panel 6.7 square meter. Roll-up doors 1 lump sum. And for our painting works, we have painting works masonry concrete 657.6 square meter. Painting works wood 53.2 square meter. And for the last item, mechanical works, ventilating equipment, we have 1 lump sum. And that's all for this project. Let's proceed to the next project, 26HA0019. With a project title of Construction Completion of Multipurpose Building Covered Court, Barangay Villa Aurora, Barangay Canlaas, Barangay Celing, and Barangay Bungahan, Antequera, Bohol, with coordinates of Villa Aurora 9.775208 north, 123.887481 east, and for Canlaas, we have 9.812360 north, 123.882969 east. For Celing, we have coordinates of 9.784805 east, north, 123.892082 east. Bungahan, 9.775201 north and 123.917115 east. And the location is Antequera, Bohol. For the project duration, we have 220 calendar days. And the project has an allocation of 8 million with an approved budget for the contract of 7,920,000. And for the scope of work for this project, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 7.3 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 7.3 months, project billboard signboard 2H, occupational safety and health and mobilization demobilization. This item have a quantity of 1 lump sum. For our earthworks, we have removal of structures and obstruction 1 lump sum, structure excavation hard rock 16.6 cubic meter, embankment from roadway structure excavation hard rock 10.9 cubic meter, embankment from barrow common soil 55.3 cubic meter, gravel field 0.8 cubic meter. For reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete 2000 PSI class A 28 days with a quantity of 164.4 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, we have 4,798.3 kilograms. For reinforcing steel deformed grade 60, 1,260 kilograms. Formworks and false works, we have 214.10 square meter. For our finishing works, we have cement plaster finish with a quantity of 143.7 square meter. For our miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structures accessories 1 lump sum, metal structure accessories turnbuckle 14 each, metal structure accessories cross bracing 132.6 kilograms, metal structure accessories steel plates 994.7 kilograms, structural steel 1 lump sum, structural steel trusses 1,848.5 kilograms, structural steel purlins 703.6 kilograms. For our roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 26 flushing 280 linear meter, fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 24 gutters 128 linear meter, pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm rib type long span 176.9 square meters. For plumbing works, we have storm, drainage, and downspout 1 lump sum. For electrical works, lighting fixtures 1 lump sum. For our painting works, masonry concrete 149.5 square meters. Painting work steel 1,154.5 square meter. Textured finish, we have 1,500 square meter. And that's all for this project. And for the last project, with a contract ID of 25HA0134, or with the title of Last Mile School Program, Bongbong Primary School, Cambuac Bohol, with an allocation of 8,542,929.29, with a project duration of 180 days, and this project has an approved budget for the contract of 8,500,000. For the scope of work for this project, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 6 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 6 months, permits and clearances, occupational safety and health, mobilization, demobilization. Each item have a 1 lump sum quantity. Project billboard 2 each. For earthworks, we have surplus common excavation 141.8 cubic meter. Structure excavation hard rock 95.5 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation hard rock 163.83 cubic meter. Gravel fill 15.8 cubic meter. For our reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete 3,000 PSI class A 28 days 87.1 cubic meter. Reinforced concrete 10.9 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, we have a total quantity of 14,842.2 kilograms. Formworks and false works, we have 341.7 square meter. For item soil poisoning, we have 27.4 meters. For masonry works, we have CHB na load bearing including reinforcing steel 100 mm with a quantity of 14 square meter. CHB non-load bearing including reinforcing steel 150 mm, we have a quantity of 177.8 square meter. For our carpentry and joinery works, we have ceiling 4.5 mm metal frame fiber cement board with a quantity of 218.3 square meter. Carpentry and joinery works and moldings, each item have a 1 lump sum quantity. For our finishing works, we have waterproofing liquid 88.7 square meter, glaze tiles and trims 23.3 square meters, and glaze tiles 140.5 square meter, cement plaster finish 560.7 square meter. And for our miscellaneous hardware, we have metal structure accessories 1 lump sum, metal structure accessories turnbuckle 16 each, metal structure accessories cross bracing 227.4 kilograms, metal structure accessories steel plates 270 kilograms, structural steel 1 lump sum, strap structural steel trusses 2,232.3 kilograms. Structural steel purlins 2,232.3 kilograms. Railing 1 lump sum. For our roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 26, ridge tip rolls 18 linear meter. Fabricated metal roofing accessory gauge 26, flashing 22.8 linear meter. Pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 corrugated long span 205.2 square meters. And for doors and windows, we have finishing hardware and steel window. Each item have 1 lump sum quantity. Aluminum glass windows awning type 0.8 square meter. Gel seal windows glass 23.5 square meter. Frames, drum seals, head, transoms, and mullions 14 sets. Doors flush 4.2 square meter. Doors wood panel 13.8 square meters. And for our plumbing works, we have catch basin, sewer line works, storm drainage and downspout, septic vault tank, concrete CHP, plumbing fixtures, cold water lines. Each item have a 1 lump sum quantity. For our electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings, conduit works, conduit racking, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main and branch breakers, solar panel with inverter, battery, and other devices, lighting fixtures. Each item have a 1 lump sum quantity. For our painting works, we have painting works masonry concrete, 774.8 square meter. Painting works wood, 169.4 square meter. Painting works steel, 576.9 square meter. And for our mechanical works, we have oscillating fan, ceiling fan, 8 sets. Exhaust fan, ceiling cassette, 2 sets. Fire extinguisher, 4.54 kilogram. ABC with bracket, 2 sets. Fire alarm system, 1 lump sum. For our water system, we have water tank polyethylene, 3 sets. And that's all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Amy. So, is there any comments or questions from the prospective bidders? Okay. From the back members? Hearing none, let us proceed to the next agenda, which is the requirements of bidding documents for civil works. Review of requirements for bidding documents. First, the contractor shall use the prescribed standard forms posted in the fields of DPWH website and it's issued in the bid documents. The bidders are encouraged to have their bid documents neatly bound, paginated, properly sequenced, and provided with simple clear tabs to facilitate examination of the bids. Each bidder shall submit 1 original of the technical proposal and 1 original of the financial proposal and clearly mark each as original technical proposal and original financial proposal. In addition, the bidder shall submit 1 copy of the technical proposal and the financial proposal and clearly mark them copy number 1 dash technical proposal and copy number 1 dash financial proposal. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents in 1 sealed envelope marked technical component and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked financial component, sealing them all in an outer envelope marked open close quotation, capital letters, bid. In the event of any discrepancy between the original and the copies, the original shall prevail. The bid shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representatives. All envelopes shall, letter A, contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters. Letter B, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. Letter C, be addressed to the procuring entity's bank. Letter D, bear the specific identification of this bidding process. And letter E, bear a warning, open close quotation, do not open before. the date and time for the opening of bids. Is there any questions or comments from our prospective bidders?
Ano ba yung iba dito katong sa envelope dito? Next time. Before.
Kana?
Kanang outer na envelope ng bid dahil envelope mark bid. So sa original na outer na bid, yun na ako.
Natuloy.
So katamay na mga ni sa inyo sa budget. Ilang na original bid.
Nasa sulat ito mga inside. Okay, we will proceed with criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, the evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. For explanation of criteria for eligibility screening, to be eligible for the contract, the contractor must meet the following requirements. Letter A, Filipino citizen, sole proprietorships, cooperatives, and partnerships or organizations with at least 60% interest or outstanding capital stock belonging to citizens of the Philippines. Letter B, net financial contracting capacity, open close parenthesis, NFCC, at least equal to the ABC. And letter C, single largest competing contract, open close parenthesis, SFCC, completion of similar contract costing at least 50% of the ABC within 5 years from the date of submission and receipt of bids. Letter D, registered with and classified by the Philippine Contractors as Accreditation Board, open close parenthesis, PCAP, with PCAP license category depending on the approved budget for the contract, open close parenthesis, ABC. For contract IDs number 26HA0016 with ABC 13,860,000, contract ID 26HA0017 with ABC 3,960,000, contract ID 26HA0018 with ABC 9,900,000. Contract ID number 26HA0019 with ABC of 7,940,000 and contract ID number 25HA0134 with an ABC amounting to 8,500,000. The required license category for all of these is small d. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience and a contract to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost, open close parenthesis, ARCC, of the registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, open close parenthesis, PCAP. Eligibility screening will be conducted electronically in the district office by the BAC with the assistance of the Technical Working Group, TWG, using Civil Works Application, CWA. Explanation of the criteria for examination of bids. The DPWH will use non-discretionary pass-fail criteria in the preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification process. If the Bids and Awards Committee, open close parenthesis back, determines that the bidder with the LCB passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid, open close parenthesis, LCRB, and shall recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the said bidder. Letter C. Explanation of criteria for awarding of contracts. The award criterion for all projects will be LCRB, open close parenthesis, lowest calculated responsive bid. The bidder with LCRB will be required to submit to the procuring entity within 10 calendar days from his receipt of the notice of award the following documents. Letter A. Authority of signing official or board resolution with secretary certificate. Letter B. Performance security. Letter C. Construction methods. Letter D. Construction schedule in the form of PERT CPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve and cash flow. Letter E, manpower schedule. Letter F, equipment utilization schedule. Letter G, contractors all risk insurance, open close parenthesis, CARI. Letter H, latest income tax and business returns. Letter I, for a local contractor, certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. Letter J, submission of the construction safety and health program shall be in accordance with DEO number 241 series of 2024. Department Order number 241 series of 2024. Guidelines on the processing, approval of reporting system of construction safety and health program, open close parenthesis CHHP for DPWH infrastructure projects. The contractor shall submit the CSHP not later than 3 calendar days from the issuance of notice of award to give time for its evaluation and approval. The head of the IO or implementing office, upon the recommendation of the CSHP focal person, shall approve the CSHP not later than 7 calendar days from the issuance of the notice of award to the contractor. The DPWH approved CSHP is a requirement for the processing and approval of the contract agreement. Moreover, no claims by the contractor, open close parenthesis, advance payment, paid first progress billing, shall be processed and paid without the submission of DPWH approved CSHP. The DPWH will only approve CSHPs through a form prescribed by the Department of Labor and Employment if found in order. The DPWH project shall not be implemented without the approved construction safety and health program by the head of the DPWH implementing office. In the case of the failure, refusal, or inability of the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid to submit the required documents within the prescribed period through its own fault, the FAC will be constrained to post-disqualify the said bidder and shall initiate and complete the post-qualification process on the bidder with the second lowest calculated bid. Is there any questions and comments from the prospective bidders?
Business manager and for information sheet, okay lang kung gusto mo ng sheet.
We'll go with that in the next sentence. Okay, from the back members? Okay, hearing none, let's proceed to documents to be submitted by the bidder and reminders on the submission of bids. For the technical proposal, the technical proposal shall contain but not limited to the following. Valid and updated Field certificate for registration, open close parenthesis, platinum membership. The Field certificate of platinum registration and membership must be updated with the current Class A eligibility documents covered under Section 20.2.9.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. Failure to comply results in the automatic suspension of its validity. Moreover, the submission of the updated Class A documents, registration certificate, mayor's and/or business permit, tax clearance, pickup license, and audited financial statements as part of the bid is no longer acceptable. The technical proposal shall contain but not limited to the following: pickup license and registration in case of JV or joint venture, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's SLCC similar to the procurement project. The SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the contractor's performance evaluation system, open close parenthesis CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. The bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, open close parenthesis NNCC, with its audited financial statement duly stamp received by the BIR or its authorized institutions or electronic submissions, open close parenthesis e-submission, with BIR confirmation receipts are accepted. Joint venture agreement, open close parenthesis GVA, if applicable. Next is bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and validity period. The bidder may submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in amount equal to a percentage of the approved budget for the contract, open close parenthesis ABC, in accordance with the following amounts. Acceptable forms of bid security. First form is by cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a bank with a minimum amount of 2% of the ABC. Second is bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, provided however that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a bank if issued by a foreign bank. It's 5% of the ABC. And third, surety bond callable on demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security in the amount of 5% of the ABC. Project requirements. First, the original chart for the contract and not the firm's organizational chart. The organizational chart shall reflect the key personnel assigned to the contract. Number 2, list of contractor's key personnel, which is the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, safety officer, foreman, and first aider, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. Also to be attached are the letter of nominee, certificate of employment, and biodata for each pledged key personnel. The minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. Key personnel, project manager, minimum year of similar experience is 3. Minimum years of total work experience, 5. Project engineer, minimum years of similar experience is 3. Minimum years of total work experience, 5. For materials engineer, minimum year of similar experience is 3. Minimum years for total work experience is 5. For key personnel foreman, the minimum similar experience is 3. Minimum years of total work experience 5. For safety officer, still, minimum year of similar experience is 3, and the minimum year of total work experience is 5. For first aider, the minimum year of similar experience is 2, and the minimum years of total work experience is 2. General requirements for all key personnel. The experience means total years of civil works experience, open close parenthesis, of any nature in construction and engineering works and or consultancy services. Include the tax identification number, open close parenthesis, TIN, of all the key personnel in their biodata. In additional requirements, for the project engineer, attach a photocopy of current and valid PRC license, proof of DPWH accreditation as project engineer, and include in the contract number of the PE in the biodata. Contact number of the PE in the biodata. Additional requirements for the materials engineer. Attach DPWH accreditation certificate as ME. Attach photocopy of current and valid PRC to include contact number of the ME in the biodata. Additional requirements for safety officer. Attach a photocopy of the certificate of training and or completion of construction and safety health course for site safety engineers. Additional requirements for first aider. Attach a photocopy of certificate of training issued by Red Cross. Per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, wherein it states among others that Item 6, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certificate that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract. And number 2, he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. Item number 7, the bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said person is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. The certification under Item 6 or Item 7 shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Department Order Number 227, Series of 2024, suspension of Department Order Number 148, Series of 2024. In order to address the foreseen delay in the implementation of new infrastructure projects due to unavailability of DPWH accredited project engineers who are currently assigned to contractors and consultants to ongoing projects, the implementation of the Department Order Number 148 Series of 2024 read, Guidelines in the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineers is hereby suspended until further notice. This directive to suspend the application of DEO number 148 Series of 2024 shall not apply to the implementation and construction of buildings and bridges. Thus, for construction of buildings and bridges, accredited project engineers shall be assigned by contractors and or consultants. Project requirements. List of contractors, major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract, supported by certificates of availability using the prescribed format, which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership and certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor and or vendor for the duration of the project, and certifications from the vendors that the equipment units under purchase agreements shall be available for this contract. The contractor should also have a point of reference for this equipment or indicate the location for verification. The contractor shall include his laboratory equipment to be pledged to the contract. The list of laboratory apparatus and or equipment should be enumerated in detail. Project requirement number 4, omnibus sworn statement in the prescribed form. Number 5, ISO 9001 2015 certification for contractors with pickup size range of medium A and above. Number 6, as per unnumbered memorandum dated February 24, 2026, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial owner shall no longer be required. In lieu thereof, the bidder shall submit his latest General Information Sheets (GIS) reflecting the beneficial ownership information (open close parenthesis BOI) duly filed with stamp received by the Securities and Exchange Commission, applicable to entities classified under Section 82 of the IRR of RA 12009, such as corporations, partnerships, private sector organizations, foundations, and associations. Financial proposal. The financial proposal shall contain but not limited to the following: duly signed bid form, bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates, summary of labor rates, unit prices and equipment rates, and cash flow by quarter or month. Reminder on relevant department issuances. Department Order Number 030 Series of 2025. Guidelines in the preparation of programs of work and approved budget for for the contract to be used by the contractors in the preparation of the unit prices. The following items shall not be subjected to OCM and profit markup. 1. Mobilization and demobilization. Next is provision of service vehicle and permits and clearances. The following also non-civil works items shall not be subjected to OCM markup. Field laboratory office and living quarters, rental bases. Furnishing of furniture, laboratory equipment, survey equipment, and consumables. Assistance to the engineers. Photographs. Health and safety. Traffic management. Environment compliance and communication equipment. Percentage to be used for OCM and profit markup are the following. Estimated direct cost up to 5 million, with indirect cost for OCM and profit 15%, profit 10%, total indirect cost percentage for OCM and profit is 25%. Estimated direct cost for above 5 million up to 50 million project. The indirect cost for OCM is 12%, for profit is 8%, and the total indirect cost for OCM and profit is 20%. Estimated direct cost for above 50 million and up to 150 million. Indirect cost for OCM is 10%, profit is 8%, making into a total of 18%. For estimated direct cost of above 150 million, the indirect cost for OCM is 8%, for profit is 8%, with a total indirect cost of both OCM and profit amounting to 16%. Per unnumbered memorandum dated July 15, 2025, VAT component shall be 12%. Shown below are the dates of availability of the bidding documents that may be acquired by interested bidders in its corresponding applicable fee. For contract ID number 26HA0016, the applicable fee is 25,000. The 26HA017, applicable fee of 5,000. 26HA0018, applicable fee of 10,000. Contract ID number 26HA0019, applicable fee of 10,000. And contract ID number 25HA0134, applicable fee is still 10,000. And the availability for the bidding documents will be from March 19 up to April 8, 2026 until 10 in the morning only. Upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the Government Procurement Policy Board, GPPB, the interested bidder shall get the bidding documents from the Procurement Staff Office, DPWH Bohol, 1st DEO, the old district of Barangay, City, Bohol. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for the preparation and submission of an electronic bid are contained in the bidding documents. Bid shall be submitted by the bidder himself or his authorized liaison officer. As provided in section 54.1 of the IRR of RA 12009, bidders shall submit their bids through their respective duly authorized representatives. To further clarify, the bidder's representative must be named in the contractor's registration certificate, (CRC), recorded in the DPWH Civil Works application, (CWA). Otherwise, there must be a duly signed and notarized special power of attorney, (SPA), for sole proprietorship or board, partnership, joint venture resolution with secretary certificate for corporation, partnership, joint venture, cooperatives. that is project specific, presented in hard copy and a soft copy thereof, must also be emailed to recipients.mary_noelin@dpwh.gov.ph using the official email of the bidder registered in the CWA for verification. Failure to send a copy of the documents mentioned in the form mentioned above from the official CWA registered email address of the bidder shall result in the bidder not being issued an order of payment nor being allowed to submit an or draft bid proposals. Bids must be duly received by the Bank Secretariat for manual submission or at electronic bids_Bohol first at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission on the schedule on or before 12 noon of April 8, 2026. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening shall be on the 8th of April 2026, 1:30 in the afternoon at the back conference room, DPWH Bohol first DEO, the O District, Pamilacan City, Bohol, and shall be live streamed to our YouTube channel. Bids will be opened in the presence of the bidders' representatives who choose to attend the opening of bids. Is there any question and or comments from our prospective bidders?
Question din, ako may laban ng civil membership sa general information ay baka sa sex. Number 6. General information. Wala daw. So, yung mga i-attach ko naman. Required target sa mga bidders na magda at least 2% sa EDC.
What about this requirement?
I mean sa ilang bid na ng pamamilan siya. Sa EDC. Kanang i-bid na yun. Kaya baka tayo isang 4 ka ng 13.80 billion. So,
Depende sa
palay at least na magkaya ang ilaw.
Ini prerogative naman. Any amount. Kung sa inyo, ito kung sa inyo i-propose mo siya, uli requirement na. Unless ang requirement na naging wala pa sa ABC, sigurado din ito ma-disqualify if nalapas ko sa ABC. But any proposal given sa inyo, ma-belong sa ABC. Any other comments?
Kana mga kanang sa mga programa di ba sa account process in case of ma-award na sila ng process sa mga materials sa pagkaroon din kasakang ito mo sa isang karoon sa may
Discuss na later. Discuss na later.
It's actually third, wala tayo suspend po that tayo postponement of the bill pang ano siya kung na wala pa may wala pa tayo hindi offer ko sa kanya. Hindi pa tayo postpone. Wala pa tayo one. Kailangan ka muna. After the first without na the first part na ito na ito sa sarlo bill. only needed for postponement. We need it for a period or because with it though. So 4.3. 4.3. Okay, number 43. DEO 43. Series of 2026. For projects under contract perfection, with issued resolution and or notice of award, any increase in construction cost arising from fuel price or volatility shall be addressed through price escalation claims during project implementation in accordance with the applicable provisions of the existing government procurement law and its implementing rules and regulations, as well as other relevant guidelines issued by the department. Is there any other comment, additional comments from the back? Hearing none, let's proceed to the common reasons for bidders' disqualification. During preliminary examination of bids, disqualification will be lacking documentary requirements, unauthorized documents, expired legal documents like field jobs certificate, pickup license, mayor's permit, tax clearance certificate. During detailed evaluation of bids, disqualification will be as calculated evaluated amount exceeding the ATC, incomplete or incorrect pay items of work. During post-qualification process, disqualification will be if the pledge of equipment does not meet the minimum requirements specified in the bidding documents, and failure to attach proof of ownership or lease agreement or purchase of equipment agreement on pledged equipment. Another disqualification reason will be expired accreditation of project engineer or materials engineer. For Department Order number 28 series of 2024, the 3-strike policy in the procurement of infrastructure goods and consulting services contracts, wherein it states among others that the following are the classification of offenses that triggers the 3-strike policy. First is withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of a non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. Next is submission of late bids without valid reason as determined by the BAC. Third is submission of patently insufficient bid. Any questions and comments from our prospective bidders? From the BAC members? Hearing none, let's proceed to the next agenda, which is the other matters. For emphasis on Section 61.1 of IRR of RA 12009, members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, secretariat, and TWG, as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of the bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC, through its secretariat, may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of all of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. The DPWH Bohol 1st District Engineering Office reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure bidding, or not award the contract at any time prior to the contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RA 12009 and its IRR, without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. Due to the abrupt fuel increase affecting materials and equipment costs, there will be possible postponement of the procurement schedule and revision of bidding documents. We'll come now to the summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. In connection with the possible postponement of the procurement schedule and revision of the bidding documents, the interested bidder should monitor possible issuances of supplemental bulletins. For further information, please refer to Engineer Mary Noel F. Racines, Engineer 3, Procurement Head, Back Secretariat, Procurement Staff, DPWH Bohol, 1st District Engineering Office, the O District Pamilacan City, Bohol 6300 with telephone number 038-422-8317, local 62030, and email address racines.mary_noelin@dpwh.gov.ph. And Engineer Julius Cesar G. Cadao, Engineer 3, Chief Planning and Design Section, Chairman, Bids and Awards Committee, DPWH Bohol, 1st District Engineering Office, the O District of Pamilacan City, Bohol 6300, with telephone number 038-422-8317, local 62021, and email address cadao.julius_cesar@dpwh.gov.ph. Is there any comments or questions so far from our leaders? From our back members, DPWH and Secretary? Hearing none, move to adjourn our pre-bid conference for Civil Works Project this 26th day of March 2026. Thank you and